Welcome back everyone, I hope you all had a wonderful week. Today we're checking out some great Nintendo eShop deals that are on sale for less than $10. You will have to act quickly though, as they're ending in just a couple of days. If this is your first time here, thanks for checking out the channel. I hope I can help you find some fun games and save you a few dollars at the same time. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to leave a like down below. I don't like asking, but the YouTube gods demand it from me, and so at least let me try to earn it. Remember, we did put out a compilation of the best deals under $5 in our last video, and I'll have that link down below in the pinned comment. And with that, let's go ahead and get started. Stay safe, my friends. Alright, we'll start off with Huntdown, which is a 2D run and gun platform shooter. It has a download around 1.2 gigs and should offer about 7 to 8 hours of gameplay, and it does include 2-player local co-op as well. In this one, we play as a group of bounty hunters working our way through a corrupt city, taking out bad guys and of course their bosses. The controls are great, the action is intense, and the soundtrack and voice acting are absolutely top notch. This is one of my all-time favorite indie games here on the Switch, and right now it's on sale for just $5.99, marked down 70% with the deal ending on the 4th. Ion Fury is a first-person shooter with a download just a bit over half a gig, and in this one you can expect at least 10 hours of gameplay before you wrap up the story. We play as a young female warrior in this one, and there are a bunch of awesome weapons. Even though the game originally released 20 years ago under a different name, they have done a great job of upgrading and enhancing the game's mechanics to better suit modern-day gameplay that we're used to. Now keep in mind, it is an incredibly difficult game with no checkpoints or health regen. At times you'll just want to kind of slow down and sort of plan out your next attack, or it's game over. The soundtrack again is top tier, and right now you can pick it up for just $6.24, marked down 75% with the deal ending again on the 4th. Up next we have Blazing Chrome, which is another amazing run and gun shooter. Again, this time it offers local co-op for 2 players and comes with a small download at about 150 megabytes. Now the main story isn't super long, but it does have a good bit of replay value. It's a great game to pick up when you only have a few minutes to play or just want to shoot some stuff. In this one, machines have taken over the world, and so we'll have to take them out and work our way through the 5 different zones, and of course they went all out for the boss battles, which were a standout for me. Overall, if you enjoy a good platform shooter with a bit of an arcade feel to it, make sure to pick this one up before the deal ends on the 4th. It's marked down 60% to just $6.79. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2 is a retro-inspired 2D action platformer. It's about as close to a Castlevania game as you can get without actually being part of the series. The download is just over 100 megabytes and you should get maybe 4 to 6 hours of gameplay. Again, it does offer local co-op for 2 players and does have a bit of replay value as well. The game gives you a few different playable characters, some new, some carried over from the first game, and they all have their own moves and special attacks or defenses. Plus, as I mentioned, you can play through the game a few different ways, so again it does encourage multiple playthroughs. This one is definitely one of my all-time favorites on the console, and right now you can pick it up for just $7.49, marked down to half price with the deal ending again on the 4th. Up next we have the Ghostbusters video game Remastered, which is an amazing port here on the console. It features the original Ghostbusters such as Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson, all voicing their characters in the game. On top of that, the story was written by Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis, and many fans consider it to be the true 3rd installment in the franchise. In fact, a lot of them prefer it over the newer movies that we've been given. Now the story takes place in New York, and many familiar faces do make an appearance throughout it, and it should take roughly 8 to 10 hours to wrap up. It's a great game with tons of fan service, and right now you can pick it up for just $7.49. It's marked down 75% with the deal ending on the 4th. You need about 3.5 gigs for the install.
Into the Breach is a single-player grid-based strategy game with a download just under 700 megabytes. It offers a ton of replay value with dozens of hours of gameplay for a pretty low price. We take control of giant mechs as we fight off an invasion from underground. Humankind is at risk of extinction, so we're the last line of defense against these massive monsters. The gameplay is incredibly addictive, and it's actually a really great game for those wanting to jump into the genre. They do a really great job of teaching you how to play, and it's not crazy difficult overall, although it is challenging enough to test you at times. I think it's a true hidden gem, and right now you can pick it up for just $7.49, marked down to half price, and the deal ends on the 4th.
Shiren the Wanderer, the Tower of Fortune, and the Dice of Fate is a single-player top-down RPG. It's basically a dungeon crawler, and it's a port of a game that released back in 2010. Now, it's incredibly difficult and does have permadeath where you can lose everything if you die without the right items in your inventory, and the dungeons that you'll explore are ever-changing, so you never quite know what to expect next. The combat is turn-based, and so strategy will come into play, and it goes along with the item management that you'll have to do. Now, luckily, there are plenty of tutorials to help you get accustomed to the game, and the main campaign could easily take more than 50 hours. Right now, it's on sale for just $7.99, marked down 60% with the deal ending again on the 4th, and you'll need about half a gig for the install. Next, we have Wild Guns Reloaded, which is an arcade-style shooter that's been updated with new playable characters, stages, weapons, game modes, and even new boss battles as well. The original was a classic, and this version steps it up to a new level while keeping the addictive gameplay loop intact, and giving you the option to join 3 other friends in 4-player local co-op. Of course, the game is pretty tough as it was modeled off of a game from a much different era, so you'll want to learn to dodge or roll out of the way of enemy fire, while training yourself to keep an eye on the entire screen as much as you can. If you've been on the fence about this one, now is a great time to pick it up. It's on sale for just $7.99, marked down 60% with the deal ending on the 4th, and the download is under half a gig. Immortals Fenyx Rising is a massive open-world RPG that puts us in the shoes of a young demigod as we follow her on a grand quest to save the Greek gods. Now, what I love about this game is that the story never takes itself too seriously, and it does prioritize comedy over everything else. It is a nice change of pace for this style game, and of course the one that it's going to be most compared to will be Breath of the Wild or now Tears of the Kingdom, and while the combat is similar, and you can glide around using Fenyx's wings, there are a lot of things that separate it from those games. You do have a massive world split into 7 unique realms, and they're all pretty interesting to explore. Right now you can pick up the base game for just $8.99, or you can go with the Gold Edition, which includes all of the DLC for $14.99. The only drawback is that you'll need more than 16 gigs of free space for the download. Once again, the deal ends on the 4th. Katana ZERO is a single-player action platformer with an amazing retro look and a soundtrack that's perfect for the game. It has a download around 360 megabytes and should offer nearly 10 hours of gameplay on average. Now, the game has insta-death, so you really have to plan out your attacks, and even with proper planning, you'll need lightning-quick reflexes at times as well. If you do die though, you're right back in the action in just a matter of seconds. Right now you can pick it up for just $8.99, marked down 40% with the deal ending again on the 4th.
New Super Lucky's Tale is a single-player 3D platformer that offers roughly 8 to 10 hours of story, and the download is just over 7.5 gigs. We're back following Lucky on his latest adventure through the Book of Ages, this time with a fun story and a variety of cool levels to make our way through. The game is also a collectathon with interesting levels and engaging puzzles to solve along the way, plus the characters are really cool too. Right now you can pick up New Super Lucky's Tale for just $8.99, marked down 70%, and the deal ends on the 4th.
Road Redemption is maybe the closest thing we'll get to a modern-day Road Rash game. It's sad that the original series died off in the early 2000s, but this is a spiritual successor, and it does a pretty good job of recreating the gameplay that you would have found in those games. It does offer 2-player split-screen co-op, and of course it has a ton of brutal combat and a wide variety of cool weapons that you'll be able to use to dish it out on unsuspecting opponents. And of course you'll have to do all of this while riding on motorcycles at super high speeds. You'll be playing as the leader of a gang hell-bent on taking out your rivals. Overall, it's a pretty cool story to push you through the main campaign, and you can even upgrade your character, weapons, and bike along the way as well. On top of all that though, you can take the game online and play with up to 10 people together. On top of all that, the game does offer up to 10-player online, and right now you can pick it up for just $9.99, marked down half price, and the deal ends on the 4th. You will need about 4 gigs for the install. Alright everyone, here are a few other great deals to check out while you're already on the eShop.
Don't worry about me. I'm sure I'll see you very soon.
Welcoming of travelers. I wager you'd have a much better time there. And Novigrad.
Alright everyone, that wraps up today's video. There are definitely more deals out there, and we'll have more videos coming your way, so hit that bell so you don't miss the notification. If you don't mind, drop a like on the video if you had a good time, jump down in the comments and let me know what games you might be picking up. Take care everyone.